Good morning everybody, and welcome to another episode of Wild Earth's Safari Spotlight. My name is John, and behind the camera we have Gert, and we are here in the heart of the Waterberg in South Africa. What is our plan of action? Well, we are going to carry on exploring a whole bunch of dirt roads I've yet to explore whilst here, and who knows what lies in wait for us around the corner. Let's go see what we can find. We've come across the tracks of a lion, and it looks to be like the young male from the Western Pride, and it's all about being able to interpret and tell a scenario or story that's unfolded. So we can see that the lion had been walking in one direction, which in this instance was west, and then you can see how it has turned around and moved in the other direction. And if we have a look here, you can see the track has now turned in a easterly direction. So what had happened here was the animal had obviously perhaps been socializing or had heard something else and wanted to have a listen before then continuing on its way. We do know that there are three of these siblings that are rolling around together, so it might possibly have been his or her sibling in the distance. Who knows?
Stations, this sighting that's gone to Canoe Channel.
It's a young male lion on the western side.
Well, everybody, we've managed to find him. Get a look at this. So he's now just off to the right hand side of me, and what he's busy doing is there is another male that has been brought into the reserve as part of the reserve's ongoing circulation of lions imitating the natural takeover of a pride. And the new male has been placed into a predator boma not too far from here so that he can get accustomed to the surroundings and get rid of that homing instinct that he may have from his previous reserve. And within the next 6 to 8 weeks he'll be released into this reserve, but for now he's in a very large piece of habitat. And all that's happened is this young Western Pride male is obviously of such an age now where he's of sexual maturity, and he doesn't want this other male to come in and to take over. So it's really difficult for us to follow. We're obviously restricted to the roads, but we're doing our best to keep up with him. But he is on a mission. And although they cannot physically have conflict at the moment because of the boma that the more mature male finds himself in, it's still all part and parcel of the process in terms of these animals competing with one another vocally, announcing to the world that this is in fact their territory, and the other one saying that no, it's not, I'm taking over this territory now. All of a sudden, we saw some movement, picked up on him, slowly skulking around in the bushes. And then all of a sudden, he came out of the bushes, announcing himself. Zuval gevonden. I am here. This is mine. You can see he's actually been quite strategic, whether it was on purpose or not, but he's come to what they call this sort of sand pit area, and it's a hollowed out area where they've obviously taken some sand out for purposes of maintenance, etc. And it's created this natural cavity, this natural amphitheater for acoustics. And he stood right on the edge of it and walked around the periphery, and he just let rip. And that ever far-carrying, reverberating raw power just emanated throughout the whole area where we are at the moment. So he just took a moment now to lie down in the road in front of us. And although it looks like he's not really interested, he still very much is. His ears were continuously moving, listening, trying to hear what is around him and whether or not this other male is continuing to call. What another fantastic morning out here in the central parts of Walgevonden, everybody. We set out with an objective, and that was to see if we could explore a couple of new routes that I hadn't yet gone on. In doing, we happened to come across some fresh lion tracks, and soon thereafter some audio of lions vocalizing. And then, of course, treated to some magnificent visuals of the young Western Pride male. I think that's a pretty perfect morning in Africa, if you don't ask me. My name is John, behind the camera is Gerrit. This is Wild Earth. Thank you, Sadiba, Makweti, and Unguban, and we'll see you on the next episode of Safari Spotlight.